Yes, sir.
Well, hello, everybody. Mike Townsend here with the American Cycling Network, and I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Redpath from Panama City, Florida. And Tom and I met in we met at the day before the 5K time trial, and Tom had on a U.S. military shirt that, if you guys are familiar with Tamara Splitter, our coach, she she leads that group on Zwift. And anyway, I saw that, and we struck up a conversation, and then we get back to the hotel. If you saw the reel that we recorded with Tom after he won a he actually won gold medals in the 60 to 64 group, which, by the way, is the toughest group because these guys, most of them are retired, and most of us guys in our 50s, we have day jobs. And anyway, Tom won the gold medal in the 5K and the 10K time trial. He placed respectfully, replaced in the top 20 at 19 in the 20K road race, and he placed 13th in the 40K road race. And so anyway, it's just an honor. Thank you for being here, Tom. I appreciate it. You making time out of your schedule, your busy retirement schedule, I guess,
Yeah.
to talk to us.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's
Yeah.
exciting to be here. I like talking about this kind of things. I've been an athlete my whole life, so it's fun to talk to other people who get it and appreciate what we do and what we go through, no matter
Mhm.
what age you are. I started competing when I was 9 years old. And I'm still doing it in my 60s, so
Wow, that's
it's a good
good.
thing.
Impressive. Yeah, mine is, I'm coming up on 3 years where I've really been at it pretty hard. But I was a runner before. But yeah, anyway, it's not about me, it's about you, Tom. Hey, tell everybody how long, well, you just told everybody how long you've been cycling since one. Tell
Well,
everybody
that's
about,
actually I didn't start cycling until late in life.
oh, really?
Yeah,
How old were you?
I think I did my first race, which was the Tour of the Bahamas at 47.
Okay.
So 2011 was the first. So it's been about 14 years now. And I wasn't that serious at first. I didn't get serious until about 3 or 4 years ago because I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right. So you had to do some pretty intense training to win this. As I mentioned earlier, Ed that won the 60 to 64, I think he won the 20K. He's from Florida, I think. And
Okay.
and anyway, I got to ride a recon lap with him around the course on the, I guess it was the Wednesday or the Thursday, the day he broke his handlebars. He was the guy in the time trial that broke his, you probably heard about it. He broke his
Oh, I
handlebars.
did. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know who it was, but I did hear about it.
He was, I'm telling you, man, this guy, he looked a lot like Tim, not an ounce of fat on him.
Did he
And
get injured at all? Was he okay? He was all
yeah,
right.
he was all right. He just,
Oh,
I guess maybe a little embarrassed, but hopefully
no.
he'll see this and contact me and we can interview him. But
We've all done. I think
yeah.
I've fallen over the stop sign several times in my day. So.
That's funny. We've all done dumb things, I guess, on a bike. But hey, tell everybody about just a kind of a flyover of what kind of training you had to do to prepare to win. Really, I still think it's the toughest age group because in our time trial in the state qualifier, a 60 to 64-year-old guy beat everybody in the 50s time. And you can talk a little bit about that too, because you and I talked about it off camera the other day where you had actually beat, I think you were third overall or something like that in everybody.
Yeah, well, this is my third one. I found out about it in 22 in Fort Lauderdale, and that's around the time I started training pretty heavy, 21, 22.
Okay.
I got a coach, could show a shout out to them. My coach is Jim Capra from Tyler Hamilton Training. Him and Tyler Hamilton are my coaches.
Okay.
Um,
And tell
so
everybody that don't know who Tyler Hamilton is, tell them who Tyler Hamilton is.
Tyler Hamilton's an American cyclist who raced numerous times in the Tour de France. He won the gold medal in the Olympics back in the day. He was one of Lance Armstrong's lieutenants for a long time, and then he went on to be a team leader in one of the other teams in the Tour de France a couple of years after that. So very accomplished cyclist. Has a few books out on the trials and tribulations of professional cycling, but he's just a good guy. I met them, and his longtime coach, Jim Capra, is my primary coach. Tyler's the support. He's in the background for support. Talk to him on occasion, and he, adds his advice and wisdom. but just good guys. They really care about what you do, and put an obviously good training program together that's worked for me. Because as I said, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was a boxer and a football player, and cycling. Was way too big for it. I still struggle with the size. I'm 6'1". I'm over 200 pounds. So I got to put a lot of power out to compete with you svelte guys. So, but
Yeah.
the coaches they helped me with that and the different training. They basically have me doing the regular road rides. I also do a lot of trainer work where it's a lot harder in my opinion.
Yes.
You have to maintain power. You don't get to coast much. They give you a lot of hard intervals.
Yeah.
It's shorter and more intense, but we also do a good amount of gravel riding because I started doing that a couple years ago, and it seemed to help because you're keeping that intensity up. Gravel's a little more difficult to pedal through than tarmac. So
Yeah. That's good. So you're on the start line. It's day one. Let's rewind. Last Thursday, let's see, no, last Wednesday, I guess, was the 5K. So last Wednesday morning, 8 days ago, you're on the time trial. They're getting, you're pulling up. They just announced the guy in front of you. They're about to announce you. What are you thinking when you're getting ready just to take off? What are your thoughts?
I'm pretty clear minded when I get up there. I get a lot of performance anxiety from sports, so I'm pretty nervous going up to it. I'm riding around, drinking water, shaking my legs out, just watching and basically talking to myself, saying, "Hey, you got this. Just go. You know you're strong. You know you're fast." And then my performance in the last two prior to this, as I was talking about, the first time I did these, when I really first figuring out what I was doing, was in Fort Lauderdale, and I came in, I think, third and fourth overall out of 200 and some people, and I won my age group.
Wow.
And then the next year, I had been training for 2 years, and I went to Pittsburgh, which is my hometown, and I came in first overall out of 248 and 278, and then obviously won my age group as well. So that in the back of my mind, and some of the other races I've done, the Florida Senior Games, the regular USAC races I've done, I've always been pretty good at time trials. Once I get my body weight up and moving, if there's not a lot of hills in it, I'm tough to beat. I get going pretty good. The weight can be a detriment when you get a lot of hills in there, and it hurt me a little bit in Des Moines. But I was able to kind of power through them and not let it mentally affect me. So basically, I'm just thinking about going. You just got to push yourself and go.
Yeah.
My better half tells me once in a while, you got to release the beast.
That's right.
So when you called me a beast that day, I started chuckling because I hear her saying, release the beast in the background. Just go out and go after it. So.
Yeah, you're definitely a beast to win goals in both of those time trials. So, let people know. Just give us kind of an idea of here you are. You're at the Nationals. You've traveled to get there. You've warmed up. How'd you feel when you finished? Did you feel like hey, I just did my best, or was there any doubt that creeped in after you finished your first and second time trial?
There's always a little, because there's a lot of very competitive and very talented and much more knowledgeable people than me. As I said, I started late in life, and some of these guys have been racing their whole lives. I've run into many guys that are former pros at times in some of the racing I've done. So there's always that. Did I do enough? Did I do enough? So I kind of try and watch my time. I'm told I need to start watching my power, which I don't do, which is probably a mistake. I just try and go as hard as I can go. And I watch my time. I really wanted to break 6 minutes, so I was concerned that maybe I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
But then Peter Wimberg, who's a guy I race against a lot, actually, he's very good. He's always up there in the top couple. He actually told me I set a new record for that age group. So I think the previous record was 6:06, and I did 6:04. So I was pretty happy with it because it had, the hills in it, and it was a little windy at times. So with all those factors, I thought I did pretty well. I just didn't know if I did enough.
I got you. Okay. And then, you said you're going to the gym today. I'm actually going to do a lunch ride, which is why I'm wearing a jersey. But I know you believe in coaching. You've said that. I do too. And I realized that I had overtrained before Coach Tamara got involved with me. Have you ever done that? Have you ever felt like, man, maybe I'm overtraining during your preparation?
There's times Jim and Tyler are real good about listening to your body, which
Yeah.
I've always had problems doing that.
Hmm.
Um, as I said, I was a fighter for years. I actually walked away from a pro contract, and I played
Hmm.
football through college from the time I was 9 years old through college, 3 years of
Right.
college football. And I was always from the hey, rub dirt on it, get up and walk it off. You'll
Yeah.
be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but then you start to learn, especially as you get older, you got to listen to your body. And some days you need to slow it down and take it easy. So, I also have, several surgeries and several injuries from, prior sports. And I was also a Marine for 8 years and worked for the
Mhm.
government for 25. So, I did a lot of operational things that were tough on my body for my work. So yeah, you got to kind of back it off sometimes. So like the other day, he had me doing some stuff when I first got home. And I said, "Hey Jim, I just rode 17 hours in the car, man. I'm a little tired." He goes, "Hey, take today. Take as many days as you need. Let me know when you're feeling better." And he said, "As soon as you're feeling right, we'll get at it."
Wow.
So yeah, you gotta take it easy. Especially as you get older, you got to recover. I think as hard, if not harder, than you do riding and training,
Oh yeah.
which was hard
Yeah.
for me to learn. Very tough. I'm from the old school of suck it up and get going.
Right.
So
Well, and going back to that recovery, you know, uh, I learned that as well, that you have to take the training, the diet, and the recovery are all pretty much equal. Would you agree with that?
yeah, and I'll be honest with you, you're exposing a lot of my chinks in my armor here from my competitors out there. I recently, if you know Carla Antonio, she's actually the women's national champion in senior games and in
Yeah.
USAC national champions. We became friends a few years ago, and we see each other on the podium here and there. Her husband is actually a nutritionist, PhD, and I hang out with him at these races. Pittsburgh, we did, and here in Des Moines, Iowa, and he's kind of on me about my diet. That's my one thing that I haven't really been focusing on. I don't eat a lot of crazy stuff or bad stuff, but I like pizza and I like Chick-fil-A, and I get lazy and I don't cook sometimes. And it's funny because when I'm eating better, I train better and feel better.
Yeah.
And he's kind of on me about
Okay.
being healthier.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's definitely, and I think it does work. I did it a little bit better, a little cleaner for these races,
Yeah.
and I felt better training.
Yeah.
So that's my next step to try and move it a little further and get a little faster and a little stronger. Is to try and work on my diet and get a little more rest. I'm not a big sleeper either.
Okay. Well, yeah,
My
17-hour
job and my
drive.
lifestyle, I don't sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe you drove the 17 hours straight.
well, I broke it up, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
have a friend in Nashville, and I visited her on the way home and stayed.
okay.
So I drove like 10 hours, and then the second seven, second day. But, after racing 4 times in 5 days, you're a little tired.
That's true.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was whipped, and I listened to my body yesterday, so I get it.
yeah.
We flip-flopped a day off and then a zone 2 day. But tell me, what does the rest of the week look like for you? Are you preparing for another race, another ride?
Well, we just talked. I talked to my coach at length probably day before yesterday, and
Hmm.
we didn't have anything really on the calendar.
Hmm.
But there's a couple. The gravel state championships are coming up in November. They're about 8 hours from here. He said, "Hey, we got to put that on the calendar." Because I actually have been racing for a couple years in this gravel. It's by Chainbuster Racing. It's called the Small Town Gravel Series, and I've actually won the series the last couple of years. So when we started gravel racing, I really liked it. It kind of fits my wheelhouse because you pretty much just go. You time trial basically for 30 or 60 miles, however long you're going to do.
Hmm.
And I was doing pretty good. So we're thinking about that. And then we started looking around a little bit, but I really want to gear up for next year, getting things right. I want to try and go to the USAC Nationals. We're actually, Carl Antonio and I were talking about going to Japan for the UCI World Championships, which means we'll have to qualify in Alabama next May. So we're looking at those things right now. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, uh, do you plan to defend your time trial come, let's say, year after next in Tulsa?
Yes, God willing, I'm hoping to. I
Okay.
met the people, as you know, the next city that gets awarded the games, or next city or two sometimes show up. And Oklahoma always intrigued me because of my last name. I get associated with Native American stuff a lot of times,
Yeah, my
and
wife asked that
it always
question.
kind of intrigued me. So I like Oklahoma. They had some very nice jerseys and medals, and it's not what it's about, but they were just really cool looking the way they were putting it on and selling their city there. So I think it'll be very interesting and a nice place
Yeah.
to go ride and visit. So I'm planning on it.
Yeah. Well, if you see me there, I will only ride the time trial. And
Okay.
I'll have at that time I'll probably have a time trial bike. If not, I'm just going to go around and do some American Cycling Network interviews and stuff. The channel's growing every day, and
Yeah, I
anyway,
was surprised. That's who you did the first interview with me. I think in a day there was 748 views, and I
yeah.
told Margaret, I said, I don't think I know 748 people. So I don't know who's watching it.
It was crazy the first day that we rode and I think you were over to the side a little bit. We rode with me and some Knoxville guys rode together, and Harvey, who started the Smoky Mountain Wheelman, which has been around, I think since bicycles were invented. Harvey's like 91, 92 years old. And we were
Really?
just talking, just like in poor camera quality, and we don't really edit a whole lot. And it's already gotten like 4,300 views, I think, but
That's
it
what I
got like
saw.
two.
It's funny because that's the first time I saw you guys, and I just happened to be turning around. That was the turnaround for the finishing the turnaround for the time trials, and I saw you guys standing there. And one of you guys mentioned something about stopping and going back, and it caught my ear. And I turned and looked, and then I said, "Oh, you guys are videoing. I'm videoing. I'm sorry." And I moved out of the way. But when you posted the video, somebody said, "Hey, you can see your big head in the background." It was kind
Tom,
of funny. I didn't notice you guys were
Tom
videoing.
Redpath, the photo bomber. Yeah, the video bomber.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
another question I wanted to ask you is what key thing, or let's say that's a person who's thinking about competing in the Senior Olympics, cycling. What do you attribute your success to in being able to hit those goals and get a gold medal?
I'll tell you. I'll answer the question in a second. First, I'd say, you know what? If you just want to get out there and be active and have a good time, there's some people too that show up and just ride it, that do the
That's
best they
true.
can to have a good time.
Yeah.
And then you got the other side, the upper third or half that they're really going after it. They're there to compete. So if you're really serious and into compete, you have to train and you have to get some rest and do the nutrition, all the things you talked about that a regular athlete does. And sometimes it's even more important. When I was younger, when I was fighting, I could get away with going out till 3, 4 in the morning with my friends, get up and run 5 miles at 6 o'clock. But I was 20 years old. When
Right.
you get older, you can't do that anymore.
That's right.
And if you're going to be competitive at these higher levels with, national and even some of the international things I do, these guys are serious. You've really got to stick to your guns and train. But I will say again, it's a great experience even for first timers that are just figuring it out. They treat everybody well. There's not a lot of egos. There's guys that really go out there and go after, and it's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But some of my top competitors are some of the guys I'm friendliest with now. We sit and talk, and hey, what'd you see? What'd you do? And joke with each other. It's just a good experience. So I would tell them either way, come out and have a good time. Get on a bike, start riding. If you're really serious about it, you got to train if you want to do well because people are serious. They're going to go after it and come after you on those bikes. So, if you're into that type of competition, you got that as well.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty good. So, when you're not riding bikes, what do you like to do?
I got a lot of hobbies that I kind of let go by the wayside since I kind of got into cycling pretty seriously about 3 or 4 years ago. I pretty
Mm-hmm.
much do that, and I like it. It keeps me occupied. It makes me feel like an athlete again.
Mm-hmm.
But I also mess around with music a little bit. I learned to play the guitar years ago, so I'm sitting in my studio. Actually, you can't see the walls with all the guitars on. So I play the guitar once in a while. I still ride my motorcycle once in a while. I have a Harley. I go out and cruise around. I mostly
All
got to
right.
take care of the yard. I live on about an acre and a half on a big lake in the back, and I cut the grass, take care of the yard, and I got 2 dogs that keep me company. So
Okay.
just normal stuff, nothing out of the ordinary.
That's cool. That's cool. Now, last question. When are you coming to Tennessee to ride with us?
That's a good question. I was just in Nashville. My best friend, who I met in college when I was 18 years old, she actually has a recording studio in Nashville that her daughter runs.
Oh, wow.
And I was just there on the way home. I stopped to see her. She goes, "Hey, I'm in." She lives in Dallas, in Colorado. She
Yeah.
goes, "I'm in Nashville. Why don't you stop on the way back?" So we did about an hour detour and stayed there that night and visited her. And she's always saying, "Come on up, come on up." So now I have two reasons to go up: to visit my friend and to come ride with you guys.
Oh, I'm
So
telling you, man.
I definitely foresee it in the future. I would love to come up there and ride. I raced there. Oh man, it's probably been about 8 or 9 years ago after I first started racing a couple of times. I did the Southeast Regional Series, which was one of the race venues was up there in Tennessee, and I really liked it. Beautiful country, nice people. So I could definitely see coming up, Mike. I'm like a stray dog though, brother. If you feed me, I might not leave.
Oh, well, I have three girls and we believe in having good food. So that's why I have to cycle because I'd be 400 pounds if I didn't.
Exactly.
But we have some good roads. We've got, the Smoky Mountains are on our doorstep here. We can be there at the foot of the Smoky Mountains in less than 40 minutes, 37 minutes to be exact. And then we can be on this one road is Foothills Parkway. The main thing is just make sure you're ready to climb
Oh yeah.
because there's a good amount of climbing. There's another place where we can go, and on Wednesdays during the summer, a lot of people don't know this, but they close Cades Cove Park, the national
Oh
park,
really?
and only walkers and cyclists can go through the park. It's an 11-mile loop.
Oh wow.
But we usually clip in at a little town close to Townsend, Tennessee, just like my last name, and we ride up and we some pretty decent hills, and then we'll ride through the park and then back down. It's about 50-mile loop, and yeah, but it's. I mean, you can't believe that this can be that pretty, when you're riding. I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's beautiful country. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but if you went about an hour outside the city,
yeah,
you could. There's good hunting and fishing, and
yeah,
the Appalachian Mountains, which are older than the Smokies, but
yeah.
still beautiful. And then yeah, Tennessee and places around there in the Smoky Mountains. I've been to several places: Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, all that
Yeah.
area in there. Beautiful areas, great places to ride, and that's one of the things I enjoy because I need it is
Oh yeah.
the
Well, I've
hills.
traveled. Yeah, I've traveled
We
that
don't have it
state.
in Florida. We got pretty good winds that kind of simulate it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I've traveled the state of Pennsylvania, and you're right. Now, the part of the Smoky Mountains is part of the Appalachian Mountains. So I noticed when I traveled Pennsylvania, it was very similar to Tennessee,
Yeah,
East Tennessee. Now, when you get to Nashville, it's a little bit flatter. There are some hills, but until you get to the Cumberland Plateau, you really don't see the mountains. We sit right in this valley, the Tennessee Valley. You've got the Cumberland Plateau west of us, and then east of us, you have the Smoky Mountains, and we're just kind of down in the middle. But a lot of lakes, a lot of mountain streams. We like riding to. There's the Cherahalla Skyway that if you really want to come up the first Saturday in June, the Cherahalla Challenge it's about 10,000 feet of climbing
I
and
think you sent
115
me the
miles.
picture that you sent me. Were you not? I believe that's where you were, weren't you, on the
Yeah,
Skyway?
on Foothills. Yes. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Foothills
awesome.
Parkway on that viaduct. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the clouds below you. You
Oh,
saw.
yeah. It's amazing, Tom. You'd love it. But hey, I just want to thank you. I wish we had more time. Maybe we'll do another one of these, but I know we'll be in touch. And thanks. Anything you want to say to everybody before we sign off?
Hey, I just appreciate helping you having me on, and I hope it helps out the channel. It's
Yeah.
great to see people taking interest in what we do. Cycling's not as big here as it is in Europe. I'd like to see it get bigger. There's a whole group of kids and
Hmm.
middle-aged and adults out there that hopefully will help someone get involved and keep pushing the sport. But I appreciate what you guys are doing. I really hope this takes off for you.
Yeah, we want to help bike shops in this country, and we want to get more people riding a bike. Those are
Yeah,
the two things that we really focus on: is helping people get healthier by riding a bicycle.
you got to get them off the couch. Too many
Yeah,
people watching video games and TVs, man. Get them
I
out on
know
the
it.
road.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, well, hey, I used to be one of them, I guess. I mean, I'm working from home today and had a meeting this morning. I've got a couple of calls this afternoon, but I'm going to squeeze one in here in the next 30 minutes. And you have fun at the gym.
Appreciate it. Be safe out there, Mike.
Hey, thank you so much, Tom.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, if you like the video, please share it and subscribe. Take care.